what's up, YouTube? This is your host, King Gio. Well, today I have something interesting for you guys. I just want you to know, so you could just so you could see how humans are, what human nature is all about. How, in a way, the human species, whether you want to admit it or not, is racist. Okay, here we have a country like Russia who has occupied Ukraine, right? Or wants to occupy Ukraine for the simple reason because whatever's in Putin's morbid mind and his deranged mind of his, he doesn't want, the same way China doesn't want Taiwan to become part of NATO, doesn't want it to become a sovereign country, stuff like that. Same thing with in Ukraine. Russia doesn't want, for whatever reason, doesn't want Ukraine to be in NATO and blah, 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 right? So think about it this way. Here we have this humanitarian ongoing. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Ukraine on the situation. I just want you to think. So we have this outpouring of love and feelings for Ukraine. All right, and we see men fighting for their country. We see the president fighting for his country. So we see that as valid, right? Okay. Now, and we applaud them. We applaud them because you have to stand up for your values. You don't want another country to come to invade you, right? You don't want that. But at the same time, we don't do the same thing for the Palestinian people, right? When Palestine wants their own land and Israel refused to give it to them. So when Palestinians throw bombs to Iran, to Palestine, it's called a terrorist attack. Or when Israel does it to Palestine, no one does anything because, oh, it belongs to Israel, right? Which it doesn't belong to Israel because that land belongs to the Palestinians. So when it happens in other countries too, that we see other countries take over other countries, we don't do anything. But why? So I understand the sympathy, but if we're going to give the sympathy, if we're going to give sympathy to the Ukrainian people, we should give the sympathy also to the people of Palestine. We should also give those rights to the same people of Venezuela, who under the President Maduro, have gone through a lot of hardship, had to go to other countries because Maduro has taken that country, and people have to ration their food. You have to go to other countries like Peru or Bolivia to live in because your own country is not providing for you. Now, mind you, Venezuela has oil. That's what socialism was supposed to be like. That's what Chavez wanted to do. Wanted to be with Venezuela. Wanted to make it a socialist country so it could benefit from the oil and give it back to the people. But that never happened. Okay, so we don't feel sympathy for them, but we're feeling sympathy for Ukraine. Yes, there's innocent people dying. Yes, it's sad. But let's just take in mind that Palestine, in some way, shape, or form, has gone through this and will continue to go through this. All right. Now, a few months ago, Israeli troops, the Israeli government went into Palestine and took over people's land, kicked them out of their own land. And we don't stand in accord with them because why? Because they're Muslim? Is that it? I saw yesterday how I think it was a family of 5 or 6 black Ukrainians over there. They're from Africa and they were in Ukraine and they're studying whatever the case may be. How they they were taking off the train in Ukraine. The guy just kicked them out and closed the door because they were black in Ukraine. Come on, people. It's time to wake up. Am I for the war? No. Should Ukraine fight for their land? Yes. Should we join them? No. We helping our NATO partners. That's about it. But should we go in? No. Should we feel sympathy? Yes. Empathy? Yes. Help them humanitarian? Yes. But in the same token, the same way that we help Ukraine out, it's the same way that we should help other countries out. The same way we voice our opinions about Russia doing what they're doing, we should also voice our opinion on Israel, what they're doing to the Palestinians. Okay? And not just Israel, all those countries that are like that. That's what we should do. Okay, lend our voice or whatever it is, but let's not stick to one spot because Russia's bombing this and we should get that. No, Look at it as a spectrum. Look at the whole thing. You know, people don't think about that. We're putting feelings to one thing, but because these people, because the Palestinians are Muslims, we shouldn't feel bad for them. Oh, they're Muslim, they're no good. No, you can't say that. You know, because you don't. You know, if you believe in God, you believe we're all created equal. No matter what the color of the skin you are, that's irrelevant. You know, Muslims have a belief, Christians have a belief, Jehovah's Witnesses have another belief. You gotta respect everyone. You have to respect everyone's belief. You know, it may not go in accordance with you, but it's still a belief, and you have to respect that. You know. So with that said, think about that. Think about that. That in some way we care more. Not me per se, but somebody in general care more for one particular type of race because they're white or whatever case you want to call them, against people of color and people who are black or people who are because they're different because of their religion. Think about that. Have you seen any church says, you know what, we're gonna give to the people of Ukraine? No, you have not. Have you seen ever the Catholic Church says Israel stop bombing Palestine? No, you have not. Though the Bible does say when Abraham had his kids that he had an affair, God gave permission to have an affair with his servant, and his servant had a child. God did say that child would be king of what? Of the Arabs, but would never rule. So it's in the Bible that Arabs are supposed to be there, but they would never rule the world. They would never rule. That's the way it is. But they have the right to live in their land. They have the right to work their land. They have the right to do a lot of things in the land. And for Israel to deny them that. And I understand why Israel at one point does it, because they figured, we are a Jewish country, we're in a Jewish state, and everybody that surrounds us is Muslim, and that gives them more power. I understand that part, but the land does not belong